So I woke up this morning sweating again. Shirt stuck to my back. Fan's not running because there's been no power for 4 nights now. And the air smells like damp clothes and diesel smoke and human excrement. And it just hangs there. And most days I'm already tired before I even get out of bed. And my first thought, water. So I walk to the kitchen and I turn the handle and the water runs out brown. And I boil it anyway because at this point, what choice do I really have? And watching the propane drop and trying not to do the math in my head, it just feels like I'm spending tomorrow just to try to survive today. And the street outside is quiet for once, a little too quiet for this time of morning. And I hear a generator start somewhere down the block. And that sound turns my stomach now. It means someone still has fuel because most of us don't. And I hear raised voices outside my window. But it's still dark out there, so I can't tell who it is. Could be the cops or could be militia. Hell, could be my neighbors for all I know. Nobody wears uniforms anymore. And I can feel this tightness right there in my chest. And the phone's been dead for days and power's out everywhere. And then my neighbor starts pounding on my front door. You hear anything last night? Gunfire, I tell him. Truth is, though, I didn't hear a damn thing. But you can't admit that now. Not when everyone's looking for weakness. That's how you put a target on your back. So I pull my boots on and I head outside. And I walk the 2 blocks that got hit hard the other day. And there's glass and debris everywhere. And there's a car flipped on its side like a dead turtle. And the trash bags are ripped open and trash is thrown everywhere. And the rats are running around open in broad daylight. And there are so many cars that haven't been moved in weeks. And everything is covered in dust and ash and bird shit. And the smell is almost unbearable. Just utter squalor everywhere you look. The street looks like the city just gave up. And people walk by and step around debris and wrecks, and their eyes are down and their shoulders are caved forward. Nobody makes eye contact with you anymore. And you know the worst part of all this? It isn't the mess. It's the silence. And by noon, I'm at the corner where the old grocery store used to be. It's not a store anymore, just a couple of folding tables set up on the sidewalk. And people are trading whatever they got left. Cash, forget about it. Worthless pieces of paper now. It's all cans of food or gasoline or batteries or medicine. And I brought some painkillers that I had in the house. I traded them in for a bag of dry beans and some children's Tylenol. Seems like one of my kids has been running a fever for 2 days now. Can't get her to a doctor and I can't even find medicine anywhere else. And the guy I'm making a deal with, he leans in just a little too close to finalize the trade. And his breath smells like old bread and rotten bologna. And his hands were shaking. And I hate how normal it felt to have to barter for some damn Tylenol. And I hate being grateful for scraps. And walking back home, I hit a checkpoint. Not cops or National Guard, just 3 guys with assault rifles and some mismatched gear. Just some local yokels who decided this block belongs to them now. What you got in the bag, he asked me. And the bag's empty, but I noticed one of them keeps eyeing my wristwatch. And my dad gave me that watch when I graduated. But I give it to him without even saying a word. And the shame of that moment hit hard and fast like I swallowed a mouthful of hot coals. But I keep that anger buried so it won't get me killed. And I keep walking. Now I'll admit it. I voted for the tear it down guy. I thought we needed a shakeup in this country. Instead, he shook us apart I traded boring for collapse and safety for chaos. And I'll admit I fucked up. But I'm writing it down so I can't pretend it didn't happen later. And about a half a block later, I see real trouble brewing. Two neighbors going at each other pretty good. Guys I used to see mowing their lawn side by side on Saturday mornings. And now they're arguing over who gets to use the generator next. And one guy shoves the other guy, and the other guy pulls out a pistol. And everything freezes. Luckily, his wife comes running out barefoot crying and grabs his arm, and he lowers the gun, but not by much. And you can see the hate in both their faces. And that tension and hate, that isn't going anywhere. And I walk fast and my heart pounding in my chest. I'm so tired of this shit. And I pass by what used to be the hospital. And I notice a line of people down the sidewalk with blood on their clothes and kids crying. And a single doctor yelling next, over and over. And I see a man carrying his little girl and her arms all wrapped up in a dirty blanket covered with blood. Part of me wants to stop and help, but I don't. And even writing that makes me feel so small. But I've learned out here that stopping to help can get you killed. And I get back home and I find Mom shaking at the kitchen table. And she tells me that the water trucks got tipped over this morning, so there won't be any water. And she also says somebody got shot trying to get medicine at the old pharmacy. And the rumors are just flying everywhere. And the kids are clinging to her legs and won't let go. And they've been like this for weeks now. Just following us all around the house, scared to be alone for even a minute. And my youngest hadn't said a word in days. And this used to be the chattiest kid that you'd ever meet. Now he just kind of stares blankly and holds on to my shirt. And none of them sleep through the night anymore. Every little sound wakes them up crying. And then they can't get back to sleep. Hell, we even stopped lying to them by saying it's okay because it isn't. And nobody in this house sleeps. And I feel trapped. Like I don't even know what's real anymore. And I keep checking the windows like there's a test I can pass if I study the street long enough, but there isn't. I just know in my heart that I can't protect any of them from what's happening out there. And evening comes and the fear always gets worse. It always gets worse when the light goes. And there are trucks rolling down the street slowly with no headlights on. And could be looters, could be militia, hell, could be people we used to wave at. Nobody really knows anymore. And I blow out the candles we've been using. And I sit in the dark with my shotgun across my lap. And I counted shells, 3. Counted them again to make sure the number didn't change, but it didn't. And the kids are in our bedroom with Mom. All of them are crammed into one bed because they're too traumatized to sleep alone. And every little crack and every sound outside makes me flinch first and think second, but it just makes them cry. And thank God the radio's still working on batteries for now. One voice says the National Guard is pulling out, and another voice says military convoys are coming to help, but there's no way both things can be true. And not knowing what to believe, that's the real torture. And I keep replaying my vote over and over in my head. I lied to myself. I called it change. But I gambled with my family's safety and lost. And now my only job is to try to keep them alive tonight. And I hear gunshots ring out all night long now. Some sound close and some sound further away, but hell, I can't really tell the difference anymore. I just know how my body reacts before my brain even processes the sound. And every single shot sounds like it's aimed at me personally. And later on into the night, I hear dogs barking and people shouting and poof, single gunshot, then nothing. Complete silence. Then I hear one of my kids whimpering in the bedroom. And I hear mom's voice trying to calm them down. It's okay. Daddy's here. Daddy's watching. And I think to myself, yeah, I'm here and I'm watching, but I'm far from okay. And hell, I don't even know what I'm watching for anymore. And nobody goes outside to check and see what happened anymore. Bodies just stay where they fall now. Because curiosity gets you killed. And fear keeps everyone locked inside. And I finally end up laying on the floor with my shotgun on my chest. And the house reeks of rotting garbage and human feces because that bucket in the bathroom, it needed to be emptied days ago. No toilet paper, no deodorant, no toothpaste, just dirty rags in a bin and a pot to boil them in when we have water and fuel. And the smell sits in the house anyway. And then sewer gas is breathing up from the drains, and my eyes water when I breathe. My breathing gets shallow and erratic, and I'm exhausted and angry and scared all at the same time. Mostly just empty inside though. I just keep jumping at every sound. But you want to know what scares me the most? It's that how normal all this is starting to feel to me. And I know tomorrow can only exist if I make it through tonight. So I stay quiet and I stay ready and I try to outlast the darkness. And look, that story that I just shared with you, that's what happens afterwards. That's what life looks like when the shooting stops. Doesn't look heroic, and it doesn't fix a damn thing. And what we've got now, as flawed as it may be, it sure beats the hell out of that picture of life that I just painted for you. You want to know what I learned the hard way in life? That no matter how bad shit is, it can always get worse. Always. And then people talk about a civil war like it's some kind of a TV movie. The good guys win, the bad guys lose, roll the credits, and let's all go home. That's not real. That's not reality. A civil war means real people die. Real families get torn apart, and real means everyone gets touched by it. You, me, our kids, our grandkids, everybody. Nobody gets to walk away clean. And this national divorce, that's what the term they like to use today. It's not the answer to anything. It's just ignorance piled on top of more ignorance. It's simply a catchphrase that people like to utter, regurgitate. I don't get it. I've learned some things in my life. Back when I was younger, when you had a problem with somebody, you threw hands. You settled it right then and there. You came to an understanding. But you know what I actually learned about that? It actually solves nothing. You solve nothing. You just pause the problem and you cause more animosity between you and the person that you had to fight with. And the same thing is true with war. It doesn't solve anything. But once you set something like this in motion, you don't get to pull it back. Pandora's box doesn't come with a lid you can put back on it. So I'm asking all of you out there, just pause for a minute. Take a breath. Stop and think about what we're really talking about here. We're talking about the complete downfall and destruction of our country and our way of life. I mean, nobody rides off into the sunset happy if this happens. Nobody. I mean, I love America and I plan to die here as a free person. And by free person, I mean with my rights intact. Free means that me and my neighbor, even though we don't agree on everything, we can agree to disagree and still work together. Oh, people, you don't get it. The truth is we're more alike than we want to admit. We just allow ourselves to be divided by people who benefit from our division. We all want the same basic things. Go to work, make a good, decent wage, pay the bills, be able to send our kids to schools, security for our families. I don't know, save up enough to maybe buy a boat or a motorcycle and enjoy a little bit of life. That's it. That's the American dream, right? And we can rebuild that together. We did it before. But not if it's us fighting us. Left versus right is a ploy. It's a trap. They, by they, I mean the people at the top, keep us focused on hating each other so much while they pick our pockets. Stop and ask yourself this. If we have billions and billions of dollars to give away to other countries, and even more to spend on our military, why can't we seem to raise minimum wage or bring taxes down on the middle class? And if you truly do want to bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. quickly, why not get to work on infrastructure? That alone will create millions of good paying jobs right away. But do you want to know what they're really afraid of? They're really afraid of all of us waking up and saying, okay, that's enough. We've had enough. We're tired of fighting each other. We're going to work together now. That scares the shit out of them. So forget all this civil war bullshit. Side versus side doesn't solve shit. It doesn't. Think more in terms of the bottom versus the top. Working people versus the handful who pull all the strings. Let's force change where it actually matters. I mean, companies are making record profits every year while a lot of people out there working 60 plus hours a week can't even afford groceries anymore. Just make these companies foot their fair share of the load. Let's raise the living wage to something that people can actually live on. Let's shift the burden off the backs of the working people, the ones who actually do the work, and put it where it belongs. You think some billionaire is going to really feel it if he loses $100 million a year? But that same $100 million a year could lift thousands of families out of poverty. And stop and think about this. Would you rather make $2 billion a year profit or 12? Of course you want to make 12, but here's your option. You make $2 billion a year profit or you make no profit. That's how I feel. I'll tell you what I learned. I've seen, and this has been in the last 4 or 5 years, people have started boycotting businesses for whatever reason. And those boycotts work. They force those businesses to change. And that's just a small amount of the electorate. Imagine if we all worked together to do the same thing. We said, hey, you know what? We want Congress to enact a law to make these businesses pay their fair share. And if you don't get in there and vote the way we want you to vote, we're going to get your ass out of there and we're going to get somebody in there to do it. They're forced to. They want to keep that job, they're forced to do it. And if they don't do the job, then we get them out of there. I don't know. Just stop and think on that. What if businesses actually pay their fair share of taxes? Pressure comes off of us. And if the money that we do pay in taxes every year actually went where it should go, like infrastructure, hospitals and schools, things we actually need and use, we'd feel a difference immediately. But I'm going to hold on to that one. That's a conversation for another day. But right now, I want you to take a look around. We got bridges falling apart, roads are falling apart. People in this country are actually avoiding going to the hospital because they can't afford the bill. We got layoffs and foreclosures, and families are losing everything that they've worked for. Imagine working hard and paying on a home for 20 years and you lose your job. Now you lose that home. That's sad, people. And do you really think that a civil war fixes any of that? It doesn't. It just wipes out everything that you've built. Your house, your savings, your kids' future, everything, all of it gone in the blink of an eye. So the next time you start thinking about a civil war, stop and think about who would really benefit from that and who would just sit back in their bunker and wait it all out. Because they don't fight wars. They send other people to fight wars. You know that, right? We, the people, are the ones who would be out there fighting, not them. And they would benefit from all that. People, we're in this together, whether we want to admit it or not. And if we're going to make it through what's coming, it's going to be because we figured out how to work together, not because we decided to tear each other apart. We really need to stop and think on this. We have so much to lose and so little to gain. Like the guy in the letter, he thought he had a lot to gain, and then he found out in the end that he lost way more than he gained. But hey, as always, take care of yourself and each other. And please show some kindness to people, even when they don't deserve it. I'll see you guys in the next one.